Lauren Monroe, a well-known lawyer, is offered $1 million to defend a criminal in court. However, she politely declines due to her strong moral values and dedication to justice. Meanwhile, her younger brother, William Monroe, is campaigning to become the mayor of New York City. Next, we see Archer Monroe, Lauren and William's wealthy father, walking in the woods. He suddenly experiences breathing difficulties and manages to reach his car, but tragically dies while driving back home. At Archer's funeral, the entire Monroe family gathers to pay their final respects. A few days later, the family lawyer, Harold, reads Archer's will. Catherine is appointed the new CEO of the family company. William receives $20 million and Lauren is given only $1 million. Harold privately hands Lauren a package left by her father. Inside, she finds a USB and a pair of keys. The USB contains a video message from Archer, asking her to uncover a hidden truth and expressing regret for not sharing it earlier. When Lauren heads to the address given in the video, she finds a locked entrance in the woods, uses the key to open it, and descends into a dark bunker. Inside, she is shocked to see a restrained man. When he suddenly moves, she panics and flees the bunker. Back home, Lauren considers calling 911, but her brother interrupts her. He sympathizes with her over the unequal inheritance and offers to share his portion, but she declines, saying money is not important to her. That evening, she reflects on her relationship with her father, recalling an argument where she refused his request to defend his wealthy criminal friends in court. The next morning, Lauren returns to the bunker with a gun. She finds the man asleep and secretly takes his fingerprints. When he wakes up, she hurriedly leaves, but later returns wearing a mask. The man surprises her by revealing personal details about her life, including her birthday, her brother's name, and even her marriage, which her father had disapproved of. She removes her mask and demands to know who he is. Instead of answering, he asks if she considers herself a good person. When she says yes, he urges her to release him, claiming it's the right thing to do. Lauren, suspicious of the man, assumes he must have committed a serious crime to be imprisoned. The man, however, demands a luxurious meal, including steak, Caesar salad, chocolates, cigarettes, and a bottle of scotch. Lauren, frustrated, threatens to leave him confined for life, but he confidently points out that her conscience won't let her do that. When Lauren gets home, she scans the man's fingerprints and sends them to Detective Emilio Sanchez, a family friend, asking him to check them as soon as possible. She then buys everything the man requested and heads back to the bunker. The man, overjoyed by the meal after decades of confinement, eats it with tears in his eyes. After finishing the meal, the man reveals his name is Morgan Warner. He grabs Lauren's hand, apologizing because he hasn't touched another person in years. Morgan begins explaining his past, recounting how he met Archer Monroe 3 decades ago. They became friends due to their shared interests in gambling, money, and women, and later became business partners. One night, Archer was drunk, driving with Morgan in the passenger seat. Archer accidentally hit and killed a pedestrian. Morgan wanted to call the police, but Archer insisted they dispose of the body, claiming it was an accident. When Morgan disagreed, Archer locked him in the bunker. He also reveals that Archer had an affair with a woman named Sophia. Skeptical of his story, Lauren demands proof and Morgan gives her Sophia's address and urges her to confirm his claims. He also suggests speaking to Harold, who was Archer's confidant. Lauren leaves the bunker, struggling to process everything Morgan revealed. She composes herself and asks Emilio to investigate Morgan Warner's background and then drives to Sophia's address. When Lauren asks Sophia about her connection to Archer, Sophia explains that they met at a poker game. During their conversation, Lauren notices a photo of a young boy and asks about him. Sophia reveals that the boy, Alex, is her son and Lauren's half-brother. Shocked by this revelation, Lauren leaves in tears. She then goes to Harold's office and confronts him about keeping such a significant secret from the family. Harold defends himself, saying it was his duty to maintain confidentiality. He insists on keeping certain details hidden, suggesting she move on with her life. Lauren then asks her mother, Catherine, if she knows anything about Morgan Warner. Catherine is clueless, as the name doesn't ring a bell. That night, Lauren returns to the bunker to learn more from Morgan. She asks him where the pedestrian's body is buried. Morgan agrees to reveal the location, but only if she promises to set him free afterward. Reluctantly, Lauren agrees, and they leave the bunker together. Stepping outside for the first time in decades, Morgan is overcome with emotion and disbelief. Following Morgan's directions, Lauren drives into the woods until they reach the burial site. She starts digging and eventually uncovers a human skull, confirming Morgan's story. She reburies the remains and takes Morgan back to the bunker. She orders him to put the metal collar back on, but Morgan begs her not to betray him. He appeals to her sense of justice, reminding her that she is an honest lawyer and shouldn't continue her father's cruelty. He also shares the pain of missing his mother's funeral because of his imprisonment and pleads for the chance to live his remaining years in peace, promising to disappear without causing trouble. Lauren remains conflicted and leaves the bunker, unsure of what to do next. After returning home, she calls Detective Emilio to ask if he has any updates on Morgan Warner. Emilio informs her that the investigation will take a few more days. The next day, Lauren returns to the bunker with a bag and makes Morgan promise he will vanish forever. When he agrees, she tells him to prepare for his departure, assuring him that he will be freed that night. Lauren then visits Harold and asks him to arrange a private jet and $1 million. As Morgan gets ready to leave, Lauren asks if her father ever mentioned her. Morgan tells her that Archer was proud of her, but disapproved of her refusal to defend his friends. That evening, Morgan finally leaves the bunker. He breathes in the fresh air, relishing his freedom. Lauren escorts him to the private jet, where Harold gives him new identification and explains the funds in his account. As Harold and Morgan board the plane, Lauren returns to the bunker to clean it. While tidying up, she discovers a bottle of poison under the bed, but dismisses it, believing the ordeal is over. Meanwhile, Emilio finds Morgan's file and delivers it to Lauren's home. Catherine opens the package containing Morgan's file. When Lauren enters the room, Catherine, visibly shaken, asks why she has a photo of Carson Thomas. Lauren clarifies that his real name is Morgan Warner and confesses that Archer imprisoned him in the bunker for years. Shocked, Catherine reveals that Morgan is a notorious serial killer. Catherine panics and asks where Morgan is, and Lauren admits she released him.
I'll let him go.
Realizing the danger, Lauren rushes to the airport, only to find the pilot and Harold dead. She deduces that Morgan is now targeting her mother. She rushes back home, but finds Catherine missing. Terrified, she heads to the bunker, where she finds her mother unconscious. While Lauren checks on Catherine, Morgan emerges from the shadows and turns off the lights. He attacks Lauren and ties her up. He then confesses to poisoning Archer, which led to his death. He also recounts the time he drugged Catherine and forced himself on her. When Archer spotted him in the act, he drove Morgan to the bunker to imprison him. Morgan explains that during the drive to the bunker, he distracted Archer, causing the car to hit a pedestrian. While Archer initially wanted to report the accident, Morgan buried the body himself. The two then got into a fight, but Archer overpowered Morgan and locked him in the bunker. After revealing these dark truths, he expresses his desire to make them suffer for what they did to him and plans to expose their darkest secrets to destroy their reputation. Then, in a shocking twist, Morgan claims to be Lauren's biological father, leaving her horrified and speechless.
If you attacked her! You what?
However, Catherine regains consciousness, grabs a gun, and shoots him in the head, killing him instantly. The movie ends with Lauren and Catherine burning the bunker to the ground and erasing all traces of the horrors it held.